Hey, this is Blake from the Gig Harbor Fly Shop, and welcome to episode 9 of the Gig Harbor Fly Show. I'm here with Matt Callies from Loon Outdoors, and he is their Director of Product Development. And Matt's been a guest at our shop a couple different times doing tying demos, and he never ceases to amaze us with his skills and his knowledge of the fly tying world. And so most of you missed out on the demo, and so I thought we would sit down with Matt, do an interview, and go over some techniques and some different stuff to catch you up to speed with all the cool stuff he's got going on. So, hi.
Hello. How's it going?
Great.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, so question. So we have a lot of customers that they would classify themselves as a tyer as, they would say they're a beginner, but they've been at it for a while. Or I would consider them more of an intermediate level tyer. So for those anglers, not people just starting out, those tyers just starting out, but they've been at it for a little bit, but they're not advanced tyers. What are some cheats? What are some things that what are the things they should be doing to up their game when it comes to tying? Like, what are some shortcuts? What are some things that they need to be thinking about and dialing in on to make themselves a better tyer to get them to that next level?
Well, a lot of the stuff that makes you a better tyer is really speed, in my opinion, and accuracy. So, going back and forth a bunch of times to get something done, say on a fly. Think about it, just having forethought and planning on what you're doing, like a plan of attack. A lot of beginning tyers don't have a plan of attack. Using there's a lot of different techniques now. So we have a new dubbing spinner out, and it's interchangeable. So it comes with what we call a complex twist gator grip tip.
The guys here at the shop call that a roach clip.
We are in Washington.
I don't know what they're talking about, but that's what they call it. What is that?
Oh. I don't know. I think it references Cheech and Chong movies.
Okay, I heard about those.
And so this is used where you can speed up your tying by taking like a chenille and a stack of feathers, and you can spin them together and then palmer through your fly to create really cool patterns without having to like chase wires and work your way through. Also, it comes with the dubbing loop hook, or shepherd's hook as a lot of people like to call it, and that way you can make really secure flies really quick, like great collars, make your flies more buggy, and they're going to have a much better durability level.
So going back to plan of attack, when sitting down at the vise, plan of attack with fly, flesh that out a little bit more. What does that mean? Just from prepping materials beforehand and have them set up, or
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, if you're sitting there and you're going to tie, let's just take the woolly bugger, for example.
Okay.
And it's a pattern that, is probably in most everybody's fly box.
Or should be.
True. Yeah, for whatever application. So if you take your marabou and you take off all the stuff you're not going to use so that the feather's set up, ready to go, you build a stack of that. You take your dubbing comes in a package, and it's just jammed in there. So you sit there and you straighten it out. You get it all dialed in, so it's like a neat little kit. If you're using wire, you're schlapping, trim all the fluff off your schlapping, kind of stuff like that. A lot of it comes down to like more production tying style. You're never going to get a ton of flies nailed down if you're constantly looking for stuff. One thing I can say is if you're using a pair of scissors, get used to keeping your scissors on your hand.
Yeah.
I do it during demos. I'll set them down. We're talking about the material, something like that.
Right.
If I'm at home, these two items are they're pretty synonymous together. They're always there, or else bobbin's hanging, I'm trimming, comes back out, bobbin's working again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an awkward feeling, because you have the tendency to poke yourself in the face possibly a few times. You're going to inflict some bodily harm until you remember that you have scissors in your hand.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing. Just really getting your stuff set up properly, getting going well. Watch a video. I'm pretty sure there's not any fly in the world right now.
Specifically watch Loon live.
Yes,
like,
of course.
go on to loonoutdoors.com and go watch Loon live, because I mean, only if you want the good stuff. I mean, YouTube's got crap, right? But Loon live. Okay, go ahead, Loon live. Go watch Loon live. You learn. Okay.
But yeah, if you watch a video and just watching another person tie, hands down, you'll see a trick. You'll see a tip. Especially if it's a pattern you're going to
people that are good, and you and I talked about this earlier. We were talking about Jade Nicholas, how that dude's legit. I mean, great tire, awesome to watch. Throw out a couple shout outs here. Who are 3 tires that are doing some online stuff that people should be checking out? Because there's a lot of stuff to wade through that is a waste of time.
The Fly Fish Food guys, they do a lot of cool stuff. They're actually pretty funny. Don't take them the wrong way. They're just really sarcastic. But if you're into sarcasm, they're great.
Okay.
Davey McPhail, I mean, he's probably the best social media or web tire out there. And in the riffle, they have a lot of good videos as well too.
Okay.
A lot of basic meat and potato stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of those guys are sending me a referral check.
Yeah.
Just for the shout out on the show.
It was 8%. We negotiated it.
Right. Yeah. Their web stores are blowing up right now.
So.
Okay, so for a lot of our customers, talking about them progressing and advancing as a tire, I would say a lot of them using your UV products has helped them do that. It's taken them to that next level because of just some of the tips, the tricks that you can turn with that thing, man. It's really cool. I mean, give us a quick overview of Loon UV products, and specifically, everyone knows you can make an epoxy style baitfish head on a fly with it. Great. Okay, but there's some other stuff that we've learned from you that seems fairly unconventional. But they're time savers. They're makes flies more durable. They're the cheats. So kind of go over some of that stuff with us.
All right. So just because we're finishing up a demo, we have 3 viscosities of resin. This one is a fluorescing, which is a color corrector at depth. So I think of it as kind of a cheat. The way I best describe this is if you've ever seen your friend come back from Hawaii, and he's got this great video that's black and white of all the reefs because he didn't understand that you have to put a red filter on to get full color. This is the red filter for your fly. So it's going to take a available light at various depths and color correct your fly. The flow is our thinnest. So where I'm using this the most, like some of my cheats and tricks and stuff like that, is reinforcing a biot body on just a traditional nymph, where you've just pulled a biot, coat it up, it's going to soak through, zap it with the light, way more bomb proof. Basically stabilizing flash on your saltwater patterns, where say if you had like a flash tail coming out and you hit it with the resin and cure it, instead of carrying an extra loop, you're saving time there. Let's see, what else? You can actually coat feathers with this and they turn into rubber. So
on sculpin patterns.
So if you took this, Brahma hen or a hen mallard, whatever it is, and we coated this, hit it with a light, this would become rubberized, and as the water pushes, that feather is going to pop back out. So like when a sculpin lands and rests, he sits down and his fins pop out because he rests on his fins, not his belly. Yeah. So it's a cool cheat. Also, if you palmer this like on a steelhead fly, like an intruder style pattern, you can coat this feather and get it to prop and wedge out so there's less collapse even in faster water. So you'll have a bigger profiled fly, which in certain conditions you would want.
Totally. This reminds me of one that I've done as well. I've taken the thick and I've coated just the bottom of rabbit strips on like a tail, and just a little bit, like on a tarpon fly, just so the tail doesn't wrap around the hook. So the first inch will be more stiff, and then still has the wiggle, but it just minimizes hook fouling. So
absolutely.
So yeah, it's awesome.
One of the cool things you can do. So then we have thin. Thin is probably our most versatile resin because, like you said, you can build a baitfish head or an epoxy back with it. But you can just build in more layers. So if you're a newer tire and you're trying to learn epoxy work, you can do like 10 layers in 30 seconds with curing. And so you can pinpoint a little bit better, and you're not going to mess up your fly as fast as you would with like a traditional epoxy.
Yeah.
And thick's really cool. Bigger build, bigger flies, more doming, say, on a back. But you can also mix in our pigments with it. So you can mix this with the pearl pigments, and you can create minnow bellies and add tungsten powder. So you can create keels on your flies that you might not normally have. Sculpin heads the same way. You can do like a wool head sculpin and coat the whole underside of it with a UV resin and tungsten, and you won't have to have like all these external weights. Shrimp pattern's kind of the same thing, because when a shrimp falls, he falls like this. So you can like keel in with orange pigments and stuff on the belly or the bottom of it, and make him fall more naturally, which could lead to more hook sets. It's kind of,
you just got my brain just going. Like I'm like, oh, I could do this and that. I mean, those are great ideas.
yeah, it's
Cool.
pretty versatile, and it's a lot of people are like, oh, it's, you're creating lures or whatever, on some of this stuff, and it's like, it's just the next evolution of fly tying.
Matt, thanks for joining us for episode 9 of the Gig Harbor Fly Show. And come on down to the shop. We have a bunch of Loon products here for you to check out, and they're also on our web store. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
What other questions do we have?
That was a good one. That was a really good one. This is the part where we edit out a little bit.
Okay.
It's okay.
Monkey. Oh, yeah.
No, that goes in the bloopers. I just did a video last week with Mark Reisler, and we had a moment like this that was hilarious because a guy had cruised up on a four-wheeler to go check his mail. And Mark's like, we're going to have to wait for this one. And we just had this hilarious conversation about it. And then Mark couldn't remember the next thing he was going to say. It was beautiful. But I put that at the end of the video because it was really, and I don't know if you've ever hung out with Mark Reisler, but the dude's hilarious. I mean, he's always funny. So it's like, I had to put it in there.
Nice.
I had to put it in there.